It's 7:40. Let's do this. Aren't you glad the rain is over? Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, where we focus on all things weather. And boy, did we have some weather today. A super soaker, in fact. Not quite a record, but kind of pretty close to the record for the daily rainfall record in Norfolk. And it's sponsored by Marco's Pizza, which, by the way, is given away in honor of Cyber Monday. Today's Giving Tuesday. They're giving away 50% off their pizza. I mean, just from listening to you talk about the weather, I know it's amazing. I mean, you don't even need a coupon. You just need the promo code, and that's on the screen there. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool if you use our call letters, TV call letters, WTKR50, at the checkout. Go to marcos.com. You can share with your friends. And if you're looking for some savings, I mean, who isn't? Marcos is giving back again, and we're going to be giving away some free pizza to some winners tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Normally I do it on Thursdays, but this Thursday I'm going to be at Regent University for the Christmas Village. Exciting time. The Christmas Village, where they got snow machines, they've got live nativity, they got all sorts of things. And I got somebody who's on Team Snow with Kim Thompson-Jones there. But whatever you're doing tomorrow, make sure you tune in because you may actually win. And if you haven't registered, it's very easy to do. Go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos. The 50% off pizza and the free pizza are all done from these 6 locations. 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk. So I just wanted to share that with you. Pizza for a year certificate is going to be given away on tomorrow evening. If you win and your name goes up here, you get the certificate in the mail. You'll use this like a punch card. So you get 1 large, 1 topping pizza every month for free. And we've given away hundreds and hundreds of pizzas since the start of this experiment known as First Warning Live. Since May, so I hope you'll enjoy it. Pepperoni Magnifico is a great item if you're looking for something tonight, maybe half off, some Pozzolis. You could check that out. And if you wanted to make sure to satisfy your appetite, go to WTKR.com. Now, I mentioned all this for a reason, because the good news here is that chilly sunshine returns tomorrow. And if I just stop there, you're like, okay, I'll just go about my business. But I'd be leaving something out if I didn't tell you that wet snow potential on Friday in spots is on the table. Now, you might be thinking, how much? Well, if it snowed, would it matter to you if it was really like it was on Veterans Day? How many of you got up like me? How many of you got up like me on Veterans Day morning at 3 a.m. just to photograph videotape some snow? Because it came down, some areas in North Carolina picked up 1 to 2 inches. That was their report. But we picked up 0.2 inches of snow in Norfolk. It was the earliest snowfall that we've had on record, and we've got some records go back to the 1800s. But it did tie 1987's record. It happened on Veterans Day. They got 0.3 in 1987. This go around in 2025 on Veterans Day, we got 0.2, 0.3. Really not a whole lot, but that's kind of where we're leaning toward this thing. This thing is here. So let me just show you what this looks like, right? We're talking about the rain that came in today created all kinds of traffic jams, traffic accidents. I heard all sorts of things that took place today. Maybe you got caught in it. But then again, if you took my advice to say get yourself up 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes earlier, maybe you could avoid some of that excessive rain and maybe avoid some of the traffic slowdowns that came from it. But I can tell you right now, this is the current temperature. Right now, it's 7:43. How do you know that? Because I'm circling it. That's what it says, 7:43. Current time is 7:43. I'd say that's pretty cool. Now, given the fact that there's no more rain to talk about, we're just waiting for these clouds to get out of here, and I think they will, especially after midnight. They're going to break up. It's not going to be perfect. There may still be some clouds hanging tough, at least early on, but generally it's a sunny finish to your Wednesday, but chillier. Temperatures will struggle to get out of the mid-40s tomorrow. Now, these are the numbers. If you're curious, how much rain did you get? I don't know. Are you in Virginia Beach? You got about 1 1/3 inches. If you're in Manio, only 0.63. Which is kind of interesting because the modeling kept oscillating back and forth, heavier in the eastern shore, heavier in the Outer Banks. Well, we got over 1 inch in Portsmouth, and we got over 1 inch in Ahoskie. But 3/4 of an inch fell at Elizabeth City in the harbor of hospitality. Now, we're not done with the numbers. There's Norfolk. That was the number, but 1.34. What is that? That's today's daily record. That came back in you ready for this? 1925. That's 100 years ago. So we came close. We were just shy of maybe 2100s. Yeah, just under a quarter inch. If we had another quarter inch of rain, which we're not getting tonight, we would have actually tied or surpassed the record. Each day has a daily rainfall record. So if you're a real weather nerd like me, you kind of follow that along. Tony Nargi mentioned it at noon today as well. But we did pick up an inch plus in Suffolk, about 0.67 in Currituck, just under an inch there in Eatonton. I'm kind of curious if you're on the call, how much rain did you get? Let me know. I did mention Kim Thompson-Jones. She says she's on Team Snow. She's excited about that chapter, which is coming up here on my live stream in mere moments, but she's on Team Snow. Maybe you're on Team Spring or Team Summer. Daniel got on here. I guess he was just 23 hours old. He just says cool. Man, that's cool. Maybe he was cool with the rain. Maybe he was cool with the cool sunshine, but it's all coming back as I'm going to come back on camera. I'd love to hear from you. So this would be a great time as I'm going to go ahead and toggle it on with some of the software that I have in front of me. So I'll just go ahead and do this. You're doing this all by yourself. I am. I'm just a one-man band here. But I can tell you that as I check this in, if you have some comments, this would be a great time for me to put your comment on the screen. I can do that. I see, who do we have? Kim is actually wanting to say a current comment. She says, hi, David. And I'm underlining this for her. Hi, David. And first warning, live friends, it's a little chilly. Wait till tomorrow morning, Kim, when the feels like temperature drops into the mid-20s. Boo, you didn't just say mid-20s. Was that on a hot mic? It was. It was. Mid-20s tomorrow morning for wind chills. That means if you're having to pump gas or you're trying to get to work or school early or on time, you're going to want layers. Lots of layers. Scarf. Maybe you're getting one for the holidays. Maybe you're getting one for Christmas. Whatever you're getting, you want to pull out the warm jacket, scarf, earmuffs, whatever it is, just so you can stay warm, because that's going to be the big story moving forward. Now, you look at the visibility. We had some fog showing up on our tower cameras during the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock newscast, even the 6, and there's a little bit of fog, or at least reduced visibility in Currituck, down to 5 or 7 in Virginia Beach, but it was down to like 2.5 in Virginia Beach during our broadcast just a few hours ago. Surface map shows this front's moving away. That means the clouds are going to be getting out of here. And guess what's coming to town? The big blue H. Some like to call it, I don't know, happy weather. But whatever you want to call it, it's large-scale sinking, it's subsidence, and it keeps the clouds at a minimum. And we're going to get that in here come tomorrow, so you'll have a cold day because the winds are out of the north-northwest about 5 to 15. They'll be slower in the afternoon, a little more noticeable in the morning. So that's why I say wind chills will be a factor, about 25 for feels like in the morning. Now, speaking of tomorrow morning, I got us at 36 at 7. Notice there's a little bit of a cloud there. But then noon and 4, it's sunny side up, just like the way I like my eggs. 42, 45. Sunny, sunny, sunny for the finishing point of the day. By 7 o'clock, starry skies turning colder. We're going to be headed down to about 32 come Thursday morning. I know you're excited about that. Some of you who are on Team Spring probably going, boo! But those of you on like Team Winter, Team Snow, some of you are like, I like it when it's cold because then when I shop, I feel like it's Winterfest, like in the battleship of Wisconsin. Now, 25, 26, 7, 8 o'clock, wouldn't surprise me. That's the chill that you and I are going to feel when we get up early tomorrow. Now, if you sleep in, you might have some of that edge taken off where it might feel like it's closer to 38 by midday. Precipitation chances, I had to go ahead and change it. I had the word rain chances, but you know what it is? It's December, y'all. It's December, which means we can't just say rain because this is going to be a mix. I suspect we're going to get a mix, so I guess the word precipitation chances, it covers it all. But when we're in the spring, sure, it's rain chances. But now we're talking about a 60% chance of wet snow changing to a mix, changing to some rain, all on one day, which is Friday. Now, if you recall, I keep using this as an example, the Veterans Day snow that we had, which was a walloping 0.2. That was not much. 0.2 didn't really stick, at least in Hampton Roads, as much maybe on a grassy surface, maybe on a cold car rooftop. That's kind of what I'm expecting. But an inch could fall in places like Franklin, Wakefield. I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's what I expect to find. So don't go anywhere. I got, again, 40% chance of precipitation. This is going to be rain on Saturday, but this will come in late. So this is a morning, pretty much an all-day event, and then it tapers off by dark. And then Saturday, the rain that comes in is going to be more like a 4 p.m., 6 p.m. start, and it rains most of Saturday night, which is not good for the Chesapeake Christmas parade, not good for the Virginia Beach parade, Christmas parade. I believe that's at 5:30. Chesapeake's at 6. Manio has one at 10:30 in the morning. I think they may be okay. 10:30 in the morning. They have a day parade. So all of it's going to be contingent or dependent on the weather and the timing. Does that make sense? I'm trying to put it all in perspective because there's a lot going on when you've got breakfast with Santa and you got lunch or brunch with the Grinch. It's just 'tis the season. Now here's the wet snow mixture. The picture is worth 1,000 words. What time is this? This is nothing like Veterans Day because it's during the daylight hours. Boo! Yes, and there's a little bit of a pink mix in here. So that doesn't look very pretty either. So it's really going to depend on this L, right? And the wiggly warm front, which can be very, very determining of what type of precipitation type we're going to get. How much rain are we going to get? How much sleet and freezing rain are we going to get? How much snow? Because oftentimes, I know it's kind of a non sequitur, but I'll go throw it out there. It's very hard to go from a snowflake to a raindrop, just like that. It's going to come in between. You get that interim phase where it's icy pellets. Ding, 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 hits on the windshield. What is that? Sleet. Well, I thought it was ice pellets. Sleet, ice pellets, same thing. Tomato, tomato, same thing. You see what I'm saying? Ice pellets may be a bigger story depending on how large that yellow or pink band grows and how this warm front behaves along the coast. But the snow might be more sizable if you head back toward Richmond or Roanoke. And right now, it looks like about an inch could fall around Wakefield and Franklin. So I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's a 10:30 expectation here on a Tuesday night. Could this change? Absolutely. By 7 o'clock Friday, it's already up into Delaware, it's in New Jersey, it's in Philadelphia. Does that make sense? I'm just checking your comments because I appreciate all of you. And Luke cuts to the chase. I like Luke because he's a no-nonsense comment leaver. He has left a comment that says, how much snow? I think about an inch or less for places west of Franklin, west of Wakefield. For Virginia Beach, Norfolk, ½ inch to a trace. But if it's mixed in with some sleet, wouldn't you want to know that? See, nobody really cares about, oh, I don't care about the sleet, I just want the snow. Well, if it's a combination, it gets even icier, bridges and overpasses. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's not a clear-cut thing, even though, what's today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're less than 3 days. You should have more certainty. And I have as much certainty as I can possibly give you now, and I'll give you even more tomorrow. But my expectation is we're going to get the snow, we're going to get the mix, and then it's going to go to all rain. So we're going to wash it down with a bucket full of water, which will take it all out of the picture. But in the moment it falls, it'll stick. And some of you are like, it's sticking on this car. It's sticking in my blades of grass in my yard. Oh, but then by the evening when it all changes to rain, how much do you have left? Well, nothing now because it's all washed away. Because look at all that. It's all turned green by what time is this? This is 7 o'clock at night. So all the snow we had in here has all been washed away down the sewer drain. It's all gone. So like I said, it's a tease, but it's winter weather all the same. And then look at Saturday. Isn't Saturday different too? Because now it's all rain in the Outer Banks. It's all rain in southeast North Carolina. So if you've got a parade, and I'm thinking Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, you're right on the cusp of some rain to your south. That's the way this would suggest, and we'll have to keep an eye on that too. So that's the forecasting challenge for the evening parades for Chesapeake and Virginia Beach. Manteo has a parade at 10:30 in the morning. They'll be fine because it doesn't roll in there until later. Snowfall potential shows about an inch in some areas. Look at this. This is really the proof of the pudding here. This is just raw data. It's the European model, which is again holding fast to what could be, an inch in dark blue? Yeah, about an inch. Maybe we get maybe 1 to 2 in some areas. And I'm talking about what falls, right? And if it falls at 10:30 in the morning while a lot of people are up, that's going to freak people out. I'm talking about the people, not everybody, not you, the First Warning Live viewer, because you guys are well grounded. But for those that just aren't paying attention to the forecast, don't know how to drive in snow, had no idea this was coming, that's 3 reasons why the freak out anxiety will go through the roof, right? Or worse yet, it might trigger the February 19th remembrance of we got 10, 11 inches back on February 19th. Is this that? No, it's not even close. Not even close. But if we got 1 to 2 inches that fell and then it got washed away with rain, is it really going to matter? And in places like Williamsburg, Virginia Beach, it looks almost like it affects Norfolk far more than it does Duck or Rodanthe. That's just rain there. So if the way this plays out, and again, it's going to wiggle, it's going to change, it's going to make some fine-tuned changes over the next day or two before we get to Friday morning. But this is the early estimate, right? So we're probably in that 1 to 2 inch in dark blue and probably about a ½ inch I'll go ahead and put 0.5 to a trace. We'll say a trace to 0.5. That's probably what's going to fall, right? You'll get some active snow showers. The freak factor, anxiety will go through the roof. And then people say, oh, it's gone now. Yeah, it's all gone now, so I guess I'm not having a white Christmas. Well, if we don't get the snow on time, like a package that doesn't arrive on time, you get the snow on what is the Friday? Friday is the 5th. You get it 20 days early. Be thankful for what limited about snow. Take video of it. Maybe get everybody huddled together for a Christmas card. In the real snow, you can make a video. I'm full of good ideas, but you're going to have to embrace it if you're on Team Snow. All right, here are my headlines. I know the clouds are breaking. You can see it in the background. It is 7:55. Clearing skies tonight. Wind chills in the 20s. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we've already covered that. You're going to feel the chill tomorrow. And the sunshine will be in ample supply tomorrow when we struggle to get out of the mid-40s. Now, the next system, wet snow, goes to mix, which is icy pellets, aka sleet. Maybe a little bit of freezing rain, but it's going to quickly change to rain as temperatures rise not only aloft but at the surface. And on Friday, all this drama will take place. I fully suspect by the time we get to Friday afternoon, it's all rain. So we've got a few hours, it's a narrow window, from sun up to about midday to get the wet snow and mix out of here. And so if it comes down aggressively, you might get a little bit more if you're in Franklin, Wakefield to the west, but very little, I think, if you're in the Virginia Beach area down toward the Outer Banks. Temperature trend over the next 5 days. 57 is the normal. We're nowhere close to that, although I guess 53 is close. But we're 45 tomorrow, 46, 48. That's where I expect to be come tomorrow. I got another note here. Friday. Who is this? Is this Glenn? I got a new person who's leaving comments. I love the fact we got new people. Glenn says, Friday, LOL. Okay, so we're a hardy bunch. We've been through worse. But at least you got the first warning that this would happen. Yours truly also called for 6 to 12 inches in Chicago, long on a Monday. Today's Tuesday. A week ago yesterday. And they got 8.4 on Saturday, last Saturday. So I had that implication of that. We could have some implications on travel, and it did. And a lot of people had some headaches in and around Chicago Midwest because of snow. So whether it's the big snow in Chicago or the little dinky snows that come here, at least I'll tell you what I see. And right now, I suspect it's going to be interesting. He says, okay. Now, if we go on to the other maps, we get back here. Let me talk about lows. This morning, we got to 41. Actually, it was 40. It fell at 12:44 a.m. But you can see it was pretty cold, or is getting equally as cold at this hour. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at the current conditions. We have currently a 43-degree temperature. So we did massage our number down to 40 on the climate report in Norfolk. But many of you could see that you were down in the 30s, pretty chilly. That happened at 12:44 a.m. The high temperature, very misleading. This happened at 1:07 p.m. So it happened right after midday, and then we started dropping. We actually dropped, are you ready for this? 15 degrees in 3 hours. We were down to 43. We went from 58 to 43 by 4 o'clock. Pretty amazing. But because of that, now we are starting to feel the chill, and now it's a lot easier to convince people that, hey, it's back to winter. The chill is going to be here tomorrow, despite the fact the sun will be out in full force. Lots of clouds maybe breaking in Jackson. I'm seeing some moon there, but these are related to the METARs, or the airport codes that are coming from these individual sites. Now, last night I forgot to put a trivia question in. And I kind of did one on the fly. So I said to Taj, if he's watching, I said, how many hurricanes did we get in 2025? The answer was 5. But 4 of them were major hurricanes. And of course, Hurricane Melissa was a Cat 5. We can assume that name will be retired, but we'll find out the official word on that in the spring. But we had 4 major, which is above normal. And we had 5 hurricanes, which is 2 below normal. So take your pick. It didn't have any landfalling hurricanes, but we did have hurricanes all the same. And where they did develop, they were pretty strong, if not major. Now, obviously, November 30th, which was Sunday, was the last day of hurricane season. That's not to say you couldn't get something developing in December, but it's highly less likely now that we've now moved past. So here's your new trivia question. I just want to see who's watching. How much pressure does a cyclone have to drop in 24 hours to officially undergo what weather nerds call, like me, bombogenesis? Isn't that a book in the Bible? No, well, Genesis is, yes. But the bombogenesis Tell me, what's it, A? Is it B or C? Is it 12 millibars, 24 millibars, or 48 millibars in 24 hours? Anyone take a guess? A, B, or C? I'm willing to hear or entertain any guesses that might be watching if you're watching this. Let's see here. Taj Brown is on here. He is wanting me to know weather for Friday. This is First Morning Live for the week, Monday through Thursday. Yeah, and keep in mind, I will not be here Thursday because I'm going to be at the Christmas Village. I'm going to be at the Christmas Village in Regent University, Taj, doing the weather from 4 to 6:30. So I'm excited about that. And I just want to, again, reiterate the question. Since you like trivia, you want to know where's the weather. Is it A, B, or C? Do I have any? Oh, I have some guesses. Look at this. Taj. And let's see. Luke is on here. Luke says B. And we got Taj, who also says B. Gentlemen, you were both right. Ding, ding, ding. 1 millibar per hour, 24 hours is B. 24 millibars. Again, it just means it's a rapid intensification of a storm. We saw it with Melissa, right? This thing became a Cat 5 pretty quickly. But sometimes when it's just a storm system like the one that's leaving us, it can actually drop that fast in pressure in a 24-hour period. We usually call that bombogenesis. And when you go on TV like this, scares grandma, it's really, it probably is counterintuitive. Why would we want to use that? Now, I do want to share with you, because I've been telling you inside the baseball information, the polar vortex is the cold air in the Arctic. And it's an ingredient you have to have if you want snow this winter. You mean I got to have cold air to have snow? Yes, you do. All right, you don't need me to tell you that. But when is that cold air going to arrive, and is it going to be in phase with the cold air? Kind of like February 19th. February 19th, you got 10 inches of snow in Virginia Beach and Norfolk, and that was because you had the cold air already in place and you got the moisture. So it's a beautiful thing if you like snow. If you don't, it's like la, 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 la. So you don't want to hear about it. But this displacement, when you get the Arctic air going counterclockwise, then the winds reverse. And I've mentioned this before because I want to show you the latest map. Some of that cold air, what we call the sudden stratospheric warming event, it'll push it back down toward the Great Lakes. And sometimes that can work its way all the way down to where? Hampton Roads. Now, yesterday's map looked like this. And if we zoom in a little bit tighter, anytime, and this was, you can see from the date here, this says December 1st in the bottom right. So this is not a forecast. This is a temperature analysis. Like, this is what's been observed. It'd be kind of like telling you what your current temperature is. The current temperature as of December 1st was in fuego. It's on fire at 6 to about 11. This is 11 miles up because it's 70 millibars, but anywhere from 6 to 31 miles up in the sky, it's rapidly warming. And that means, as I said, for those of you counterintuitive, because again, when I say it's going to be warmer, when warm air rises, we know from middle school science class, the cold air sinks. And boy, does it sink fast. So you get these big surges of cold air, like 0-degree temperatures in Minneapolis when the polar vortex unleashes some of that cold air. That usually has a delay, like a time-release vitamin C, or as I've said many times before, kind of like a paddleboard. You know, if you ever stand up paddleboard and the speedboat goes by, it might take 30 seconds before this young lady is in the water because the waves are so big, right? This is the same type of thing. I'm talking about this right here is so warm aloft, it will take about 30 days before that burden of cold air comes racing down. And this was on December 1st. Today's new map looks like this. This is December 2nd. So I think 30 to 40 days, that's usually a good estimate, but you could set your clock to it. Between 30 and 40 days, that'll take us to New Year's. That'll take us to early next year. 2026 will have some very cold air. And if you're a planner, and if you've got to buy firewood, or you got to make sure your heating costs stay low, do what you can, because clearly this is going to be cold air. Another look at this from today. This would, like, in this direction, maybe it changed my color of my telestrator, but you can see here, this is all going to be working its way down toward Hampton Roads. There's Florida down there. So this is, as what's warm up there, cold air will come underneath it. And this, again, is representative of about 11 miles up in the atmosphere. And oftentimes, questions I get about this is that the models don't see it because they're not focused, and their attention is not focused on the stratosphere. They're looking at the troposphere, down where we live. So eventually, when the models do finally get a clue, then it's like, oh, everybody's on that bandwagon. Well, I'm telling you, this is first warning. I'm telling you this early part of December. I think the early part of January is going to be wicked cold, as they say in Boston. So some very cold air is going to be coming our way. It is now 8:04. I got to keep moving. Another way to look at this upper air pattern, you can see this cold air and the date at the top might dip down a little bit toward Virginia Beach, but it's going to depend on the trajectory. There's the 10th of December. Another way to look at this again is it comes in like waves, much like the beach, right? It's like trying to catch the big wave at Virginia Beach. If you're a surfer, we are going to be looking for the big cold wave, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be in phase with some moisture, which would give us a potentially good snow. I'm still on board for 3 to 7 plus. 3 to 7 inches of snow. I said it would be front-end loaded. I said November, December, and the first 2 weeks of January would be when winter took place here. I think after Dr. King Day, after mid-January, I think it's going to slowly retreat. It's not to say we couldn't get snow in February, but I think it's front-end loaded. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to pass. So there you go. See, I'm not wavering. I'm just telling you we'll know more on Friday's event when I get more details and another look at it tonight and certainly tomorrow. Today we hit 58 degrees at 107. Now we've had a day yesterday at 48, so yesterday was below normal. Today's normal high is 58, so today was a normal day. But the normal drops to 57 on Wednesday. But look at these numbers. We're actually warmer now than we were this time last night. That says a lot about last night. There were some of you that were really worried. I was getting some direct messages like, are we going to get a wintry mix? And I said, no. I said, the temperatures are going to come up. And boy, did they come up, because the rain didn't really get in here until after 4:30 or 5. In some cases, it was torrential at 10 or 11 a.m. It was not an issue. But we did have temperatures rise quite a bit from where we were this time last night. 42 right now in Chesapeake at 8:06, 42 in Hampton, 42 in Cape Charles. We have 46 in Manio. If you've got a comment, a question, a concern, let me know. Kim Thompson-Jones did guess B. She got it right, too. Got a couple of people who got it right. Glad to know that you all are here. Glenn was wondering to know, I guess 12 minutes ago, when is this happening? This is happening on Friday. So we've got 2 days of quiet weather, but if you can handle the chill. Look at the wind chill. I mean, even at 8:06 p.m. on a Tuesday night, it feels like it's freezing in Melfa. In Wallops Island, you're getting walloped with a cold 33 wind chill. And it's feeling like 38 in Elizabeth City, 38 in Ahoskie. Now tonight's lows could easily drop in the low to mid 30s along Hampton Roads that we're on the 757. But if you're inland Virginia, you are welcome back to the 20s. 27 Wakefield, Franklin, Conway, and about 33 in Edenton. Matthews could drop to 28 tonight. And 34 is where I expect to be in Norfolk, 31 Chesapeake. I do like to show the average airport delays for this purpose. I know this is Giving Tuesday. It's a great chance to give back to all, and I'm still campaigning to get Giving Tuesday to move to the, it should be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Because by the time you get through Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Secondhand Sunday, and Cyber Monday, many people are tapped out. So I think Giving Tuesday should come earlier, put that in the forefront, and then people might be more generous. That's just me. I think that would be wise, but they don't ask me. But I can tell you this. How about the airfare? Yeah, there's no issues, it looks like, in Tampa or Orlando, but there is in Miami, or there was. Now I see some big improvement. I saw, when I loaded this graphic, there was a 45-minute delay in Miami. That's gone. Chicago was under a delay for about 30 minutes, in Boston too. So they've all improved. So it looks good for anyone who might have been traveling. And I like to see, because if there's any weather issues around the country, clearly we have some snow going on in New England. We got some wet snow and some rain and wet snow in parts of South Dakota. So green and pink and white in here. Looks like it's snow showers near Great Falls, Montana, and not far from Denver and the Rockies. It looks like they've got some precipitation around Salt Lake City. But let's go back to the Northeast. This is where our storm system has wound up, and it's snowing in places like Maine, New Hampshire, and look, getting some rain, looks like, in Boston at this particular time. It's 8:08. Current temperature in Suffolk is 41. 42 in Portsmouth, 42 in Hampton. Clearly our numbers are pretty chilly, but as we noted a moment ago, we're running about +5, +10, warmer now than we were last night because we were cooling fast. 28 is the current temperature in Beckley. Current temperature in Columbus, 28, while Louisville, Kentucky is at 27, and we've got 50 in Hatteras at the moment. Boy, does it look cold over here. What am I looking at? I'm looking at this. I see white up here. Is that white? It almost looks white to me. White, purplish color. I mean, this little trough has dipped down across much of the mid-Mississippi Valley and the Midwest, and it's just a matter of time before we catch that next wave. And if you want more evidence, look at the blue ooze. It just oozes down with even Arctic cold white areas, down like it comes down from Canada into Maine, into the Hampton Roads area by the 9th. And then it'll kind of lock and reloads. It's going to be one of those situations that once we get the cold air, and if we can get a southern slider like what we're going to get on Friday, it could be a beautiful thing for Team Snow, but it could be a nightmare if we got accumulating snow. Nobody wants to rain on your parade. Nobody wants to snow on your parade, unless, of course, it's a Christmas parade and you want the snow. You know what I'm saying? You can't win for losing. But I can tell you the Climate Prediction Center is, in fact, predicting a below normal period of time from December 10 to December 16th. So that's not just me talking. That's Northeast, that's Hampton Roads, that's many areas between the 10th and 16th, and above normal for the Southwest. Now, Eastern Shore for tomorrow should reach the low 40s for Onancock, plenty of sunshine. Saxis, 43. Chincoteague, about 44 degrees tomorrow. Exmoor and Cape Charles also in the lower 40s with mostly sunny skies. Nags Head, Manio, Roanoke Island, Wanchese, 46. 46 Kill Devil Hills and Duck, and Rodanthe at 47. Ocracoke and Hatteras at 48 degrees. The Storm Prediction Center, I like to show these maps and the colors because this gives you some idea of how to plan if you're doing some traveling. Looks good from the severe weather threat because it's not there. There's nothing to see here because between now and 7 a.m. tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center has no hot spots in the country in terms of severe weather, nor do they have anything on Wednesday, nor do they have anything on Thursday. So that's kind of unusual, but usually in that November, December timeframe, you can get severe weather. There was a concern this morning from the Morehead City office of North Carolina, and I posted some pictures on the comments. They were concerned about low top tornadoes around anywhere from, I guess it would be Jacksonville over toward Beaufort. Or Beaufort, excuse me. Beaufort might be South Carolina. Beaufort is North Carolina. But you have the potential for some, even a spin-up tornado. They were concerned when the rain came through, even as far north as Frisco. They were looking at that. But it turned out that that was not a problem on the radar today. So thank goodness for that. But hey, these things can happen, and sometimes they don't always make the headlines, even from the Storm Prediction Center. Futurecast shows this. Clearing skies. Now, is it perfect at 11? No. Shows still a lot of clouds at 11 o'clock tonight in Bertie County, in Chowan County, Perquimans, Pasquotank, and even around Gatesville, but then all that moves away. 7 a.m., there's still a little strip of cloud cover. It's like it doesn't want to go away. It's right over Virginia Beach and Norfolk and maybe back toward Back Bay. But really, that's the 7 a.m. mostly sunny. Outlook by noontime, it's all gone. And so we're left with lots of sunshine tomorrow, highs around 45. By the time we hit tomorrow night and into Thursday, it's partly cloudy. I mentioned the fact that I don't expect any precipitation on Thursday, but it will be milder at 53. So 45 tomorrow, 53 on Thursday. And I've already shown this, but I'll show it to you again because any wiggle room from this low will determine whether how much snow you're getting or how much rain you're getting. And most likely, this band could go up a few miles. Maybe if it moves 20 miles this way, 20 miles that way, that's a huge difference. It's like, you said it was going to be. Yeah, I know what. I can tell you what the data says. This is what the data says, that we're going to get that mix. And I think it may not be all that pretty, especially from sunup through about 10:30, as you see pictured here. But that would take you through about midday. And then once we get toward the evening, afternoon and evening, it goes to all liquid and it pushes all that out of the picture pretty rapidly. But here's 7 a.m. Saturday. So this is why I said if you've got a Manio parade going on Roanoke Island at 10:30 on Saturday, you should be fine. But it's later in the day. It starts to fill in. There's 6 o'clock and it's trying to move northward toward Chesapeake, Virginia Beach. And they've got their parades at 5:30 in Virginia Beach and 6 and Chesapeake. I showed you the snowfall potential. For those of you who might be joining us late, this is really going to be where we see what falls may not necessarily equal what sticks. I'll say that again. What falls may not actually stick. So it could cause a lot of alarm if you get 1 to 2 inches in this dark, lighter blue, maybe a trace to a ½ inch in the lightest blue, but the darker blue might be 1 to 2 inches of snow, but a lot of it's going to be dependent and contingent on the track of that low. Wednesday morning, we're about 34 south side, 35 peninsulas, 30 in North Carolina. Lows about 27, 27 Franklin, 39 in Duck, 31 Melfa, and 39 in Corolla, Nags Head. So we look at the Pagoda, 45 for a sunshiny finish tomorrow. Peninsula is 44 and 48 in North Carolina, about 48 for Elizabeth City, Windsor 49, 46 for Smithfield and Chesapeake, our friends in Moyock at 48. Here's your first warning, WTKR, News 3 7-day forecast. So partly cloudy Thursday, wet snow in a mix to rain on Friday, mainly late. There's a lot of dry time on Saturday, but it is still mostly cloudy. I think Sunday's a better looking day at 50, simply because we'll have more sunshine. Monday, I have a 10% chance of rain that could become more spotty by Tuesday. But you're still on the cold side of the ledger. I got a cold low here at 31, and I got a cold low here at 32. Boy, do I have some happy shots for you. Mount Trashmore taken on Thanksgiving Day. Lisa, thank you so much for this. I mean, you gotta love. I love Mount Trashmore. My wife and I, we've done the little hike up the hill and taken in the view. Even when back in the summer, it was just beautiful. You have a beautiful vista there. Newport News sunset. Bradley Fullwood captured this beautiful one as well not too long ago. Some high thin cirrus clouds there. And lastly, Sandra Snyder from Kill Devil Hills. Isn't this breathtaking? This just makes me want to go back to the beach tomorrow, but I know it'll be cold. Kill Devil Hills sunrise. Thank you, Sandra, for capturing that. That does certainly hopefully lift some moods, because that's why we call them our happy shots. Again, 45 tomorrow, 53 on Thursday, 46 Friday will be the interesting day indeed. By the way, if you want to give, our friends Marcos is giving back to you, my friend. Use the promo code WTKR50 tonight. You can get anything. You can get a pizza. You can get cheesy bread. You can get salads. I had a Greek salad and a pozole on Sunday. All of these things are available to you at half off this week, just for watching this very live stream. There are 6 locations that you can redeem that pizza at half off, but you might win some pizza tomorrow, because we're going to give away the winners on a Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to be at Regent University for the Christmas Village. But if you win the pizza for a year certificate, it looks like this. It would come in the mail. You could use it like a punch card, put it on the refrigerator, and save some significant bucks on your pizza budget for 2026. And if you'd like a pozole, you can grab that, get that half off, the pepperoni magnifico for half off. Your choices are endless, because there's so many things you can get, whether it be a pizza, pozole, a pizza bowl, a sub. They even have wings, and they have cauliflower crust if you want something gluten-friendly. They've got that too. That's all good at 50% off. So again, want to thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for putting up with my rain icon or animation video at the top, because that's kind of how it felt today. And anyway, just remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny, which it will be tomorrow, or it's serious, which may be Friday. We'll have to wait and see, because accidents can occur really at any time. But just make sure that you know every day is a gift. Make sure you know every day is a gift, and make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here tomorrow. Take care.